Okay, so we have been discussing shortest path algorithms, and as we have discussed in the greedy, there are different versions of it: single source shortest path, single destination shortest path. Single source shortest path means you are interested in finding out the shortest distance for all the vertex from a single vertex, which is a source vertex. Then there is single destination shortest path, in which you are interested in finding out shortest path from all the vertices to a single vertex. So that means it's a reverse case of what we have discussed earlier. Then the third version is a single pair shortest path. That means you have been given a graph and you are interested in finding out the shortest path between a pair of vertices. That means you have been given source vertex and destination vertex, and interest is in finding out shortest path between these two vertices. And the last one is all pair shortest path. All pair means that if there are n vertex and they are connected, so you are interested in finding out shortest path between each and every vertex. So it's kind of a brute force approach to find out the shortest path between all the vertices. So we have discussed these versions, and we have discussed that greedy solves one algorithm, that is, or greedy solves one problem, that is single source shortest path, using Dijkstra's approach. Now, we have also discussed that there is one limitation of Dijkstra's approach, and that limitation is it cannot identify the negative weight cycle. So, in order to work on that limitations, we have a dynamic programming based approach for finding out the same. So, that is called Bellman-Ford algorithm. Now, Bellman-Ford are two gentlemen who have derived this algorithm, and it uses dynamic programming approach. Basically, the reason behind it is that we have a optimal substructure property. It means that if there are three vertices a, b and c, a and b are connected, b and c are connected, and you are interested in finding out the shortest distance between a and c, then optimal substructure property says that if you can have a shortest distance between a and b, and if you can have shortest distance between b and c, then you can easily derive the shortest distance between, or shortest path between a and c. So in order to solve a larger or a bigger problem, you need to solve a smaller problem in optimum way. So when you have a result of this sub problem in optimum way, you can always combine this and generate uh, the ultimate solution which you are interested in. So that's why it has an optimal substructure property, and that's why this problem can be solved using dynamic programming approach. So what the kind of an approach these people use is, let's discuss more on that. So basically it's a Bellman-Ford algorithm dynamic programming approach. Uh, as we know that it's a weighted directed graph. That means graph is having a weight associated. That means every edge of a graph has associated weight and also direction. That means there is always a source and destination for every edge. Apart from that, it is a single source shortest path. So you have been given some source vertex for the entire graph, from which you are interested in finding out the shortest distance for all other vertices. This is important. What it says, algorithm returns a Boolean value. That means the outcome of this uh, also represents or also gives informations about whether there is any negative age cycle or not, which is not possible in Dijkstra's approach. It returns a Boolean value indicating whether or not negative age weight cycle is there in a graph or not. So in case it is there, it will simply say that you can't have shortest distance because there is a negative weight cycle. So solution does not exist if there is a negative weight cycle. This outcome was not possible in Dijkstra's approach. So let us go further. So as we know, this is for directed graph, but it can also be used for undirected graph as well. obviously you need to convert the input undirected graph into the directed graph. Now, before we discuss the algorithm, let us understand by a, an example. So, so let's say we have this graph. Okay, we'll take the same graph which is there in my presentation. So we have 5 vertex total. Right, and obviously it's a directed graph, so you have a direction association with every vertex, and also it's a weighted graph, so you have weight associated with every edge. So you have this. So 5, then -2, -3, -4, 7, 2. Okay, so this is my graph. Let's Z. Then you have X, then U, then y, and so we are at the source vertex. So initially, the algorithm goes like this. It starts with infinity, infinity, infinity. So if you have understood the team's approach, this is a similar kind of an approach where each edge will be relaxed. But how many times this process will be repeated? It is v minus 1 time. That means v means the number of vertex. So if there are 5 vertices, then each edge will be relaxed. We know what do we mean by relaxation, right? So each edge will be relaxed 4 times because there are 5 vertex. So how many edges? Whatever is the number of edges, that will be relaxed. So initially it starts with 0 and this is infinity. So when you have a first time, so each edge will be relaxed. So let's say this is my first setup. Let's see. So after first iteration, what we have is, if I relax this edge,
Sir, hello.
yes,
સર સર સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ હજી તમે રિક્વેસ્ટ મોકલે છે અંદર ક્લાસમાં એન્ટર થવા માટે.
I'm not getting any request.
કદાચ એક્સપાયર થઈ ગયા હશે, હું પાછો એમને ઇન્ફોર્મ કરી
ના
દઉં.
એમને કહો પાછું કરે.
ઓકે સર.
So when you have, let's say if you want to relax this is z to u, then this weight is 0, this is infinity, and the weight of edge is 6. So source distance is 0, weight is 6, so 0 plus 6 is 6. This is infinity, so this is less than infinity, so that's why the new distance of z to this will be 6. Okay.
સર પાછી મોકલી હશે રિક્વેસ્ટ.
Hello.
હા સર પાછી રિક્વેસ્ટ મોકલી હશે, એકવાર ચેક કરી લેજો.
નથી આવતી રિક્વેસ્ટ ભાઈ. So this process will be repeated for every edge. So that means if you relax this edge, z and x, this is infinity, so it will become 7. So z is done, so let's do it for u, every outgoing edge of u. So this is first stage. This is 6 plus 5, 11. This is infinity, so it will change to 11. Similarly, other outgoing edge of u is this, right? So this is 6 plus 8, 14. This is already 7, so this will not change. Similarly, this is other outgoing edge. So this is 6 minus 4, that is 2, which is less than infinity. So this will change to 2, right? So now u is done. Now let's discuss it for v, outgoing edges of v. So there is only one outgoing edge of v, right? This one. So it's 11 minus 2, 9, which is greater than 6. So this will not change. Next is x, outgoing edges of x, 1 and 2. So this is 7 plus minus 3. So 7 minus 3 is 4, which this is 11. 11 is greater than 4, so that's why this will change to 4. Right? Next is 7 plus 9, 16, which is greater than 2, so no change. Next is y. Outgoing edges 1, 2 and 2, 4. This is 0, so no change. 2 plus 7, 9. This is 4, so no change. So we have repeated one time, right? Again, this will be repeated, as I told you, how many times? 4 times, because there are 5 vertex. So again, same thing. Okay. 0, 6, 0, 6. Okay, no change. No change. Again for you, 6 plus 8, 14. This is 7, no change. 6 minus 4, 2. Here also it's 2, so no change. 6 plus 5, 11. This is 4. 4 is less than 11, so no change. Then for V, 4 minus 2. This is 6. So 4 minus 2 is 2, which is less than 6. So this will change to 2. Okay. Then there are no other outgoing edges of V. Then for X, 7 minus 3, 4, no change. 7 plus 9, 16 and 2, no change. Then Y, 2 plus 2, 4, no change. So this is after second iteration. Similarly, you will do it for third iteration. Okay. So again same, 0 plus 6, this is 2, so no change. 0 plus 7, already 7, no change. Then for U, 2 plus 5, 7, which is, this is 4, so no change. 2 minus 4. 2 minus 4 is minus 2. Okay. So 2 minus 4 is minus 2. So this will be changed to minus 2. Then 2 plus 8, 10. This is 7, so no change. Next is U is done, so next is V. 4 minus 2, 2, no change. Then there is no other edges. So X, outgoing edges, X, 1. 7 minus 3, 4, no change. 7 plus 9, 16, this is minus 2, so no change. Then for Y, already there is one edge, so minus 2 plus 2, 0, no change. So this is third time and last time. Okay. So 0 plus 6, no change. 0 plus 7, no change here. 2 plus 5, 7, no change. 2 plus 8, 10, 7, no change. 2 minus 4, minus 2, no change. Then for V, 4 minus 2, 2, no change. Then for X, 7 plus 9, 16, this is minus 2, no change. 7 minus 3, 4, no change. Then for Y, minus 2 plus 2, 0, no change. So that means these are the shortest distance of all the vertex from vertex Z. Okay. Approach is very simple. You have to repeat V minus 1 time. What you are supposed to repeat? You are supposed to relax each and every edge every time in every iteration. So basically this is an iterative algorithm which gives you the guarantee of finding out the shortest path. Now, how do we find whether there is a negative weight cycle or not? Once you have repeated this 4 times, again you try it one more time, right? So that means we have repeated this 4 times, then again we will try one more time, one more iteration. And if there is a relaxation possible, then it indicates that there is a negative weight cycle. So if you try again on this particular data, And as we know that there is no further relaxation possible specifically for this graph, it means that there is no negative weight cycle. Otherwise, again, if it relaxation is allowed or it is possible, then it indicates that there is a negative weight cycle. So now if we see the algorithm, okay, initially you what have been given graph G, then you have weight function W, and then you have source vertex S. Initially, uh, source vertex distance is obviously 0, and for every other vertex distance is infinity. So that's what we are doing. Distance of S is equal to 0, and for every other vertex of a graph, minus S means except the source vertex, the distance is infinity. Now what you, it's a simple for loop. What you are doing for 1 to V of G minus 1, that means this is the number of vertex of a graph minus 1. Then again what you do for every edge UV belongs to E. That means for every edge of a graph, you are trying to relax that edge. So how do you relax the edge? Distance of V, that means the distance of destination vertex, if it is greater than distance of source vertex plus weight of edge, then distance of destination vertex will be updated. And obviously in order to keep the track of path, you need to maintain this parent. So parent of destination is source. So you will repeat this V minus 1 time. Again you will try it one more time. So again you will repeat this loop inside after this for loop. So try one more time, and if it is possible again, then you simply return false. False indicates that there is a negative weight cycle in a graph, so solution not possible. And during this for loop, if relaxation is not possible, then you are actually having a true. True means that there is a negative weight, shortest distance is computed. You have values in D and you have values in pi. Pi will give you the parent, so that will give you the path, and D will give you the shortest distance from source vertex S to every other vertex in a graph. So I hope the algorithm is clear. It's very simple to understand. Basically, it's an iterative algorithm. And what is the time complexity? What should be the time complexity? First line step count is 1. Second line number 2 and 3 step count is how many times we are repeating? V times. So step count is V. Then you have a for loop V minus 1 time. So let's say this for loop runs because of V time. Again inside each V, again you have another for loop, right? Which is repeating how many times? E times. So V and E. So this line number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the time complexity is about big of VE. Then 9, 10, 11 again for every edge. So big of E. So big of E, big of VE plus big of V. So if you add all these, what is the highest order term? Highest order term is big of VE. So that's why time complexity of this algorithm will be big of VE. This is what is being mentioned. Okay, so this is shortest path algorithm by Bellman-Ford. Any doubt in this? If you have any doubt, then you can discuss on it. Otherwise, we move ahead. There is one more shortest path algorithm. This is single source shortest path. Any doubt? Okay. The next is all pair shortest path. So instead of finding the shortest distance from one source vertex to every other vertex, Now we are interested in finding out the distance of each and every pair of vertices of a graph. So obviously what we have discussed till now is Dijkstra's algorithm can be applied only in case of there are no negative weight cycle. This is better approach using Floyd-Warshall. This is another algorithm by Floyd and Warshall. So it's basically based on the dynamic programming approach, and it's an iterative approach. So there is basically a loop, and it has a better time complexity compared to the other one. So how this algorithm is approaching? So you have been given n vertices. Let's say now you have a number of vertices in a graph is n. Initialize the shortest path between every two vertices with infinity. So that means for all the vertices, you generate all the permutations and initialize that distance between two vertex is infinity. Now what is next? Find all pair shortest path that uses zero intermediate vertices. Zero intermediate vertices means that you will find the shortest distance between adjacent vertices. So if we discuss from this graph, zero adjacent means that z and u are zero adjacent. Z and x are zero adjacent. V and y, u and v, x and v, x and y, these all are zero adjacent vertex. But when it comes to z and y, okay, z to y, I am saying z to y because there is a directed graph. So direction is important. So when I say z to y, then you have one intermediate vertex between them, that is x. So what that approach or Floyd-Warshall approach will do, it will first find out the shortest distance between zero adjacent pairs. So for for every pair which has no intermediate vertex. And this process will be repeated iteratively. So then you will find the shortest path with one adjacent vertex, then two, and then three. At the max, what will you have is n adjacent vertex or n minus 1 adjacent vertex if you have a total number of n vertices in a graph. So basically that many times this will be repeated, and each time the distance between all pair or distance between every pair of vertex will be minimized. So this is what it actually does. Let's say you have two vertices I and j, then shortest path between I and j is equal to minimum of what? Distance between I to k plus distance between k to j. So again, this is a minimum distance between I to k, minimum distance between k to j, and distance between I to j. That means there is some intermediate vertex between I and j, that is called k, or there is no intermediate vertex between I and j. So you have a direct distance. Minimum of these two. Now again, this intermediate vertex can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be anything. So you will have different values of k, starting from k equal to 1 to n minus 1. So that's why you say distance of ik is what? Shortest path that only uses the first k vertices. That means if your k value is 2, then 2 intermediate vertex. If k value is n, then 3, then 3 intermediate vertex. So this is the algorithm. Okay. As we know, first we initialize the distance between every pair of vertex. So how many vertices? Number of vertices v. So for every vertex u belongs to v, and for each vertex v belongs to v. Okay. So you need to generate a pair, right? So that why you require two for loops. So that will generate a kind of a matrix. So on each row you have vertex, on each column also you have vertex. So if you want to visualize that, it sounds like this. There are 4 vertex. So you have matrix of 4 cross 4. So each row you have vertex, on each column you have vertex. And what you are, uh, if u is equal to v, u is equal to v means that you are dealing with the same vertex. Obviously, when you are dealing with the same vertex, distance is 0. So that's why distance of u to v is equal to 0. And as we, this is an initialization, for every other vertex, distance is infinity, because we are not aware of the minimum distance. So let's initialize with the infinity. So this is my initialization, this two for loop. Then we all know about, so we have a weight of edges. So what we can do, we can optimize this, or we can change the value of this matrix by applying the weight of an edge for this on this matrix. So what we can have is something like this. For each edge uv belongs to graph, distance of uv is equal to weight of uv. Obviously, you have a weight associated with every edge, some vertex, source vertex, and some destination vertex. So this is u and v. So what I'm interested in minimizing, or I'm interested in updating the value of distance matrix using the weight values. So that's what we are doing in this for loop. So if you see for this graph, this is after step 0. Step 0 means these two loops. First for loop initialization, and this is applying the weight of the edges on a distance matrix. So after these two for loop, this will be the status of this graph. So let's say these are 1, 2, 3, and 4 vertices. How many edges? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 edges. So because there are 4 vertex, so 4 cross 4 matrix. Initially, what is we have done? We have 0, 0, 0, 0. This diagonal will be 0, right? The reason for that is same vertex. So diagonal will be 0. And then we apply the edges. So what we have, a distance between 1 and 2 is 3. So this is distance between 1 and 2 is 3. Again, if you take this edge, then 3 and 4. So distance between 3 and 4. Sorry, 3 and 1. So distance between 3 and 1 is 4. So like this, you can apply for every edge, you apply this on the distance matrix, and you will get something like this. Okay. So this is a kind of an initialization for the graph. Now you will repeatedly update the value of this matrix by using this approach. So what we are doing, you have to observe, we are repeating for first one intermediate vertex, then two intermediate vertex, then three intermediate vertex, like this. So initially this is your number of intermediate vertex. So you are running a loop for that many time, obviously v time. And then you are updating the value of distance. So you have this two nested for loop for I equal to 1 to v, j equal to 1 to v. And obviously you are interested in finding out the minimum of I and j. So what you are doing, distance of I to k and k to j. If this is larger, then you will not update it. But if this is okay, so distance of ij is equal to distance of ik. V minus 1 time, at the end what you will have is the shortest distance between all pairs. Obviously, if you look at the time complexity, this is v square. Here it is e, we got e, and here it's k, I, and j, and 3 times. So you have repeating it v times. So v and v, so v cube. So this is v cube, this is r, and this is e. So we got v square together. The highest order term is big of So let's try to evaluate this on the it's 11:20. Okay, so let's quickly do this. So we have a first intermediate vertex. That means for every let's say 1 to 2 and 2 to 4. Okay, so we are considering first intermediate vertex. So 1 to 2 and 2 to 4. 1 to 2 is 3 and 2 to 4 is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8. So when you are sorry, there is no edge between 1 to 4, so I don't think this should be considered. Let's discuss on okay. Right, this you have 4 to 1 and 1 to 2, and you also have 4 to 2. So 4 to 1 is 2, 1 to 2 is 3, so 2 plus 3 is 5, and 4 to 2 is minus 4. So that will be remain as it is, sorry, here. Okay, so like this, for obviously this is all pair shortest path, so this matrix will be very sparse matrix. It will not be a dense value. Majority of the value will be either 0 or something like that. So because there is not always a path between two vertex, there does not exist a path between every pair of vertices, so in that case that distance will be 0. So uh, you can repeat this k minus sorry v times, and at the every iteration you will find, I think it requires some more time to discuss an example, so we'll discuss in the next class. But I hope the algorithm is clear, that we are initializing the distance for every pair of vertices with infinity or 0. 0 means the same and infinity means other. Then we use the wage value or the weight of age value, and you apply it on distance matrix, so that will be changed accordingly. And then for intermediate vertices we are minimizing or optimizing that distance matrix, and that we are getting v time again. So v time, v time, v time, we are repeating this process, and at the end you will get the shortest path between every pair of vertices using this algorithm that is being given by Floyd Warshall. In the next class we will discuss the example of this. Okay, so that's it for today. Okay, if you have any doubt we can discuss in the next class. Goodbye.